Well, it's that time of year. It's Thanksgiving, it's Christmas. And you know what I'm saying for Christmas? Sonic Mania and Sonic 2017. I can't wait for that. But I am actually going to be waiting until it's released and see it for myself. See a little glimpse of the gameplay style. I mean, definitely Sonic Mania. But I'm gonna wait until I see the full gameplay with Sonic 2017. And also learn about the title. But anyways, that's not what I'm going to be talking about today. I am actually going to do a review of one game I dearly enjoy. Well, technically it's a fan-made game. Sonic before the sequel. And I'll do it after the sequel in the near future. Well, let's start the review. It's game time!
Take off at the speed of sound. Bright lights, the colors all around. I'm running wild, living fast and free. Got no regrets inside of me. Not looking back, not giving up, not letting go. I'll keep on running. I'm gonna reach for the stars, although they look pretty far. I'm gonna find my own way and take a chance on today. The sky will start so bright, the colors feel so right. I've never felt like this, I'll keep on running. The sky will start so bright, the colors feel so right. Just take my hand,
We need you!
reach for the stars tonight.
Where is Sam? Time has fly by. If you could say what is my most favorite video game character of all time, I would have to say Sonic the Hedgehog. Ever since Sonic the Hedgehog 2 came around, I was hooked. But as time flies by, I have to face many obstacles of being a Sonic fan. One of them was actually having to face up with Sega's motto of got to finish developing the game quickly, which can lead to sometimes disastrous results. Second obstacle was literally Sonic 06. It almost made me drive away from the series until Sonic Generations comes in and reeled me back in. But thirdly, and I really don't like to say this part, but thirdly is the fan base. Hear me out. I don't dislike the fan base in general. Sure, it's a wild place to be, but there are good fans, good people out there who support the series and help Sega out a little bit. It's the other half that kind of snipes me. Think of it this way, kind of like politics. We all have our own opinions, and sometimes the other people might not agree to what we believe in. I give applause to Sega trying to find the middle, but when you try to appeal with one group of people, the other group of people might not like what they bring at the table, and vice versa. It's no use! Sorry. I had to put that joke in there. Plus, I did say that, or ask permission from a artist if I could use this image in one of my videos. But seriously, it's no use. You can't please them all. Now with Sonic Mania and Sonic 2017 coming out, I am actually very excited of what they bring. But what about those people who aren't into what Sega throws in, or don't like what Sega gives to them? Well, they either still nag on Sega, complaining about what they want in the series. Others decide to move away from the series in general, or they just play the game that caught their interest, or better yet, create their own fan-made game. Normally, when it comes to creating fan-made games, there's going to be companies out there that would always have an eye out, or decided to copyright them. But there are some companies who are alright with it, and Sega's one of them. There are thousands, and I mean thousands of fan-made games based around this blue blur. Some that are cool, others that are interesting, and some of it are kind of strange. But there were three that caught my interest: Sonic World, Sonic Dream Adventures with the different regions, and finally Sonic before and after the sequel. And yes, I did combine them both. Why? Because they were both equally awesome. These two games were created by none other than Lake Peppa, which was not the only two games he actually developed. He also created Sonic Chrono Adventures, Sonic before the sequel Aftermath, and I believe he's even making his own game himself. But we're getting ahead of ourselves here. The story actually takes place after Sonic the Hedgehog 1. Sonic collects all the 6 Chaos Emeralds, and then he was transported into a new area, where he learns that Eggman is creating a death machine called the Death Star. Wait. What do you mean? Wait, whoa, it's called the Death Egg? Are you serious? Sonic runs off to stop Dr. Ivo, Robotnik, or Eggman, whoever you prefer to call him as, from ruling the world yet again. But throughout his journey, he saves a two-tailed fox named Tails, in which, after saving him unintentionally and unaware, the two-tailed fox decided to follow him due to his interest and also inspiration from him. So they each have their own adventures, going through many trials, many obstacles throughout their path, so that they can stop the Dr. Ivo Robotnik Eggman guy. This story is actually pretty nice. The introduction with how Tails meets Sonic the Hedgehog actually fits pretty well. I mean, yeah, there are stories of how Tails meets Sonic the Hedgehog in the main game, and then TV show and a comic book, but it's so separated of how they met. It is kind of a little bit confusing. Not to mention, they took the story element of how Sonic and Tails meet into a video game based style, and I gotta say that it's pretty awesome how Lake Peppa did. Let's talk about the voice acting, which has none. I'm serious, it has no voice acting. Sonic, Tails, Eggman, they're all muted. Actually, kind of fits the Genesis type of style when you think about it. They show the story by expressions. But Sonic's gotta go fast, bad attitude, Tails' curiosity and innocence, little two-tailed fox, and Dr. Ivo Robotnik's evil grin. The main point of the game is to get to point A to point B by collecting rings and using monitors to help your journey, with speed shoots, one-ups, and shields, and rings. You can play as Sonic and Tails, but they have their own unique styles. For Sonic, he has the figure 8 technique, which allows him to go even blazing fast. Kind of like the spin dash, except he can be hurt badly. Truth be told, I never used this a lot, mainly because I'd forgotten about it. With Tails, he actually is able to fly with his two tails, which allows him to fly high. The only similar thing they have is, well, they both have the spin dash. That and Tails' running animation kind of looks like Sonic's for a while. But you have an option to change it whenever you please. You hear me right when I say you can play, or going to be playing as Sonic and Tails. I don't mean like you are able to control both of them at the same time. No, you're constantly switching from Sonic to Tails. Now, I wouldn't have a problem with it unless if I have the ability to choose what character I want to play as. Though on the other hand, I do enjoy what the levels they throw at for Sonic and Tails. They each have their own unique gimmicks, their own ways to progress through the level. For example, Sonic's able to breathe underwater with no air bubbles. Wait, no air bubbles in the Sonic game? How are you able to survive all that? By a unpoppable bubble, which allows you to double jump. Which is kind of strange because in the main game, the bubble shield allows you to bounce higher, but let's not get picky, shall we? And with Tails, it's more like learning how to use his twin tails to progress through the level. Not only by flight, but also progressing through the levels themselves, like using his tails to open doorways, or using his flight capability to allow the crystals to make him fly even higher. Something like that, and it's actually pretty nice. Though I wish one certain level doesn't exist. Sunset Star Zone Act 2A. My first time of doing a walkthrough on this game, I only did the upper path, so I wasn't sure what the lower pathway was like. So I decided on my spare time I should try it out. The upper pathway, take it, please. Because the downward pathway leads to disastrous consequences. You have to collect a certain amount of stars in order to progress through the level. Sounds easy, right? Wrong. There are small platforms, enemy placements that could get you frustrating because they will fire projectiles at you. And let's not forget to mention the cars can run over you. I have experience with small platforming in Sonic Colors, and I gotta say, it is frustrating! Though, on the bright side, it doesn't instantly kill you, unless you get run over again, or get hit by a projectile again. Or one of those two things. So, I guess it's better than Sonic Colors' level with small platforming? I guess. How to control them is actually by using the keyboards, which kind of feels awkward at first time, but after you get used to it, it kind of feels natural. You use the arrow keys to move them around while using the Z to jump. Man, I sound like Omochao. Am I annoying you? If I have to say one thing and one thing only about the presentation, I have to say, wow. It looks like Sonic on the Genesis, to be told. It feels like it. I mean, even the blast processing is in there. And thanks to the graphics on the computer, it even succeeds even further. Though there were some cases that I noticed there were some small minor frame rate issues. Sometimes it runs 60, then it runs to 30. I don't know why. I mean, other fan-made games seems to be alright when they were created. This one, don't know what was the problem, but it didn't affect the gameplay in general. Of course, being a fan-made game, they taken sprites from Sonic 1 through Sonic CD. I mean, it's a fan-made game. What do you expect? But Lake Pepper did make a change of pace. Motobugs are able to fly now. Caterpillars don't kill you with their spikes, though they do kill you, giving you a lift towards the spikes. And they even bring back scrap enemies from a prototype Sonic the Hedgehog game. But they did make one enemy very annoying. These little turtle dudes, which I prefer to call them teenage street fighting turtles. Why? Because they are basically Ryu from Street Fighter. They do a Shidouken and a Hadouken on you when you least expect it. At least it's not as annoying as the level I stated, but these enemies can be a little bit annoying sometimes. And like Pepper did make his own sprite animation for newer enemies of his own, but let's just say it doesn't exactly fit in it. I mean, maybe a little bit of shading in a few enemies, and it might look like it fits in Sonic the Hedgehog itself. Whoever were the composers that Lake Pepper hired them for, I have to say one thing and one thing only. Thank you. Each and every single level and act have their own unique music that not only is pleasing to the ears, but actually fits into the levels themselves. Now, yes, we could just have one single music in 3 acts with per level, but they decide to go out their way and give it a nice change of pace of the music tastes themselves to give a unique role into it, and I have to give applause for that. Not only that, but Lake Pepper decided to create a soundtrack for anyone to listen to the music itself. Just take a listen to this music, for example, for a sample. Is there anything bad about this game? Well, no, not really. I mean, yeah, I have some nitpicks about it, but I still enjoy the game throughout the journey. It's fun, it's challenging. It's like Sonic the Hedgehog on the Genesis, man. What more can you ask? Well, there is one thing I could ask, and that is there anything extra to do? I mean, yeah, you do have a special stage where you can grind lives, which is good. But having a special stage with no Chaos Emeralds is like playing a Mario game with no power-ups. It's kind of a bit lacking, I guess you could say. Then again, I really don't collect all the Chaos Emeralds on my first go. It's not because that I don't like collecting all the Chaos Emeralds. I'm just more of a prefer of the guy to just playing the game from point A to point B. Besides, if I wanted to complete the game fully, I will do it on my spare time, or, well, search it up on the internet to figure out where everything is, so I can open it there. Hey, don't look at me like that. I mean, you've probably done it on a certain game where you're having a difficult time to figure out where everything is at. Don't judge me. Sonic Before the Sequel, I have to say, is one of the greatest fan-made games I ever played of all time. I mean, it's like Sonic the Hedgehog on the Genesis days, but maybe even it succeeds even further. The only thing I have a problem with is the frame rate issue, which only runs 30 frames per second instead of 60. Maybe tweak a little bit with the graphics, but other than that, it's awesome! I can't say anything else about it. It's that great, and you should try it. The link to download the game will be in the description down below. Pretty awesome. So that's my take about Sonic Before the Sequel. Have you played this game? If you have, what do you think about it? Place your comments down below. This is Jermaine from Jam Frog saying, have a ribbit!